Hey guys, it's Smith. Okay, today, serious topic, reacting to this video. Super Typhoon Rai destroyed Philippines. Well, first of all, for those who went through the difficulties, I'm really sorry. I just saw the news that super big typhoon hit Cebu in the Philippines. There were lots of casualties, some were still missing. This is devastating. I have business partners in Cebu and I called some of them and he said he was alright, but his house has been destroyed, so he's encountered a really bad situation. Well, he alive at least. I know big typhoon often hit the Philippines, but this time it seems to be much worse. How hard was it exactly? So let's see.
If you enjoy the content, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you're new here. So, let's get into it.
Wow! What
Super
the hell?
Typhoon Rai, known locally as ODETTE, slammed into the eastern coast of the Philippines on Thursday afternoon, bringing torrential rain and the threat of widespread flooding across the archipelago. The storm intensified rapidly as it approached the coast, strengthening from a Category 1 to a Category 5 storm in just 24 hours.
Oh my god.
By the time it made landfall on Surigao Island, a popular tourist and surfing destination on the central east coast, the storm had reached sustained winds of 260 kilometers per hour.
260 kilometers per hour! This is impossible! Well, human can't alive in this situation. This is so hard. Well, we have in Japan, we have also lots of typhoons. We experienced lots of big typhoons before, but I've never heard of this 260 kilometers per hour typhoon. This is a super big.
160 miles per hour, with gusts over 300 kilometers per hour, 185 miles per hour. Around 198,000 people have already evacuated from their homes to government shelters, the country's National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council said on Thursday. Many preemptive evacuations and storm preparations began earlier in the week as the country began seeing heavy rain. The human-induced climate crisis is making typhoons, hurricanes and cyclones more intense and destructive, and the Philippines is one of the world's most climate-vulnerable nations. The super typhoon is expected to travel through the country's central and southern regions. Some of the worst conditions are expected in Surigao province, which lies on the northern tip of Mindanao, one of the country's major islands.
Well, yeah, that's so Philippines. I mean, Philippines is known for the island where, typhoon is created. I think it's because of warming weather creates lots of typhoons. And recently, since the global warming is getting worse and worse, the power of typhoon creation is got much stronger. Yeah, so like in Japan too, we have in few years we encountered the biggest typhoons or flood issues that we've never seen before. We've had many casualties and many bad effects on our economy. So we seriously have to encounter or deal with this kind of global warming issue. Otherwise, our country will be destroyed completely.
The storm is also expected to hit a number of provinces in the country's Visayas region, a central group of islands. In Surigao province, more than 2,600 people have been evacuated as of Wednesday evening, according to the state-owned Philippine news agency.
That's a relief that there's a shelter that where you can hide when this kind of disaster happens.
Photos from Surigao show one sports complex turned into an evacuation center, with plastic tents set up in a large hall and families asleep on rugs and tarps on the floor.
Oh my god. Yeah, I feel like is it happened in actual? It looks like a sci-fi movie, like a film which is like Earth will be destroyed by some natural disaster. But this happens in real, right? So, really scares me.
Super Typhoon Rai lashed the Philippines on Thursday. It is the strongest typhoon to hit the country this year Alberto Bocanegra, head of the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies in the Philippines, told the media, "This monster storm is frightening and threatens to hit coastal areas like a freight train. We are very concerned that climate change is making typhoons more ferocious."
Yeah, that's what I said. The climate change creates a stronger typhoon. This is a disaster in the Philippines, but this is not only issue for the Philippines, but we Japanese also have to face to this issue, because the typhoon created in the Philippines often come to Japan, right? So it's gonna be stronger, right? We got to deal with this issue seriously.
And unpredictable. Scores of flights have been cancelled in the Philippines and dozens of ports are temporarily closed in a country that is normally buzzing with tourists this time of the year as Christmas holidays approach. For now, due to the pandemic, international tourists are banned from Philippines. However, local tourists were evacuated from beaches. Very destructive winds are expected to cause heavy to very heavy damage to structures and vegetation. The Weather Bureau has predicted widespread flooding and rain-induced landslides.
Landslides, this makes casualties more, right? This is what it was for the typhoon. Typhoon causes not only damage by wind but also flood or landslides, which creates lots of damage, lots of more damage, right? This is tough.
It was predicted that the wind speeds could reach 195 kilometers an hour before the typhoon makes landfall near the popular tourist destination of Siargao Island. More than 45,000 people had sought shelter. More evacuations were still taking place in areas in the storm's path. The cyclone named Rai, locally named ODETTE, is hitting the country late in the typhoon season.
I see, Rai means dead. So this typhoon is known for a death typhoon in the Philippines, right? Just judging by the name, we can tell how hard it is.
Most cyclones reportedly develop on the Pacific Ocean area between July and October. Reports say Rai is expected to weaken slightly as it moves across the Visayas region and Mindanao and Palawan Islands before emerging on Saturday over the South China Sea and then heading towards Vietnam.
Don't destroy the beautiful beach. I know there are many beautiful beaches in the Palawan. It sucks. That was devastating, wasn't it? Actually, that was worse than I expected. That was much worse. As I said earlier, that didn't look it happened for real, but that was like a sci-fi film. I still can't believe it. But when it comes to natural disaster, it's getting worse, isn't it? Because big typhoon comes to Japan every year in these few years and gives us big damage. I remember when I was still small, typhoon comes to Japan, but that wasn't really big, and such a big typhoon comes to Japan. Used to come to Japan like once in 10 years, but it happens every year now. This isn't alright, is it? As the video says, since the climate change progress, the natural disaster getting worse. Now many developed countries progress carbon zero emission activity. I hope developed countries, including Japan of course, complete such activity and that climate change shifts to the better condition. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you like it. If you do, make sure to like button and subscribe, please. So, また会いましょう。